Arena sets are rotating. Rise of Shadows will still be in the pool, but old sets will be switching up. On June 3rd, we'll now have the following sets in Arena: Basic and Classic set, Goblins vs. Gnomes, the Grand Tournament, the Boomsday Project, and One Night in Karazhan. Let's talk about strong cards that are leaving and coming into the rotation. Legendary cards will not be discussed because you'll rarely see them during the draft. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the Tempo Storm YouTube channel to keep up to date with our Hearthstone content. Now, let's begin. For Druid, the key card moving out is Mark of the Lotus, and that's about it. The current rotation didn't give Druid enough premium cards. Much of Druid's power level is rooted in neutral token minions and classic board buffs. We'll see some interesting cards coming into the rotation though. Mulch and Recycle give Druid large removals again. Living Roots, Darnassus Aspirant, and Enchanted Raven give Druid an even better early game curve. We'll be seeing a more consistent token strategy that should make Druid even stronger. Hunter is losing quite a bit of value. Call of the Wild, Vilebrood Skitterer, Hunting Mastiff, Web Spinner, Shaky Zip Gunner, and Piranha Launcher are leaving. Dispatch Kodo, Alley Cat, and Wing Blast are also leaving. Currently, an average Hunter deck could outvalue an average deck for most other classes. This will no longer be the case. The best Hunter card coming back is Glaive Zuka. This will necessitate the importance of 1-drops for Hunters and might bring back a very aggressive Hunter archetype that was absent in the current rotation. We're also seeing a bunch of good 2-drops coming back that will complement Glaive Zuka when going second. A final premium card we'll mention is Cloak Huntress. The tempo gain is incredible and will make a near auto pick in all archetypes unless it's placed in the top bucket. We would assume Aggro Hunter will make a comeback and be especially devastating in the first week of the rotation. The power level of Mage will rise with the rotation. Jaina loses Twilight Flamecaller and Volcanic Potion, but gets Shooting Star back. Book of Specters is also leaving, but due to it being an epic card, it doesn't see too much play. The most important card Mage gains is Firelands Portal. During One Night in Karazhan, Firelands Portal defined the meta, and it will be the case here as well. Even if Blizzard places Firelands in the top bucket, it'll still get picked over a Flame Strike in some picks. The spell will also synergize with Conjurer's Calling, which further increases its value. Mage also gets Flame Cannon and Flame Lance back, which will give them even more removals to replace Forbidden Flame that's rotating out. Unstable Portal and Goblin Blast Mage are also very good cards for the class. Killing mechs will be more important than ever. Paladin has a lot of good stuff rotating in and out. Let's look at what they lose first. Silver Sword, Grime Street Protector, and Sound the Bells are leaving. These were key cards that won the game if Paladin had the board. Rallying Blade and Ghostly Charger are also leaving, which provided good initiative for a class that direly needed it. Paladin, in turn, gained some premium stuff as well. Muster for Battle is one of the best cards ever released, and even if it ends up in the top bucket, there still won't be any competition for it. Coghammer is another insanely strong card, but it's an epic and won't be seen nearly as much. Mech Synergy will also be a theme with Shielded Minibot, Glowtron, and a Noyo module in the pool. Murloc Knight is another card that can win the game by itself. There will be 12 Murlocs in the pool, so there is a 1 in 12 chance the Knight will summon itself, and that can quickly get out of control. Seal of Champions is another premium buff spell that can come out as early as turn 3. Attaching a buff on a 2/3 minion will be especially devastating in gaining early game tempo. Finally, Paladin gets Enter the Colosseum, which is a powerful board clear that players often can't play around. Overall, we'll be seeing an increase in power level for Paladin. They'll have fewer finishers than before, but gain a lot of tools to secure the board early. Bronze Herald from Rise of Shadows will be a key card to generate enough gas for Paladin to reach the finish line. Priest is at an interesting place. Cabal Talon Priest, Dark Cultist, Dragonfire Potion, and Potion of Madness are leaving. The latter two spells didn't see much play because one of them is an epic and the other is in the top bucket. Nonetheless, these cards contributed to the fantastic mid-range archetype Priest was known for in the current rotation. Priest gains a lot of premium tools as well. Light Bomb will replace Dragonfire Potion as the epic board clear. Velen's Chosen and the newly buffed Extra Arms will provide strong swing turns early on. The emphasis on drafting 2-drops will stick in the next rotation. There will be strong curve minions for Priest with Shrinkmeister, Omega Medic, and Priest of the Feast coming back. Overall, the rotation didn't change Priest much. Rogue is at a sad place right now. It was adjusted twice in the current rotation, and now you see a lot of bad cards in the draft. Hench Clan Thug is leaving, with a host of other good 3-drops leaving as well. A bunch of premium class cards are also leaving. No more Blink Foxes, Cheap Shots, Shadow Strike, Undercity Husker, Lotus Agents, and South Sea Squid Faces. What do we get in return? Goblin Auto Barber, Swashbuckler, Undercity Valiant, Buccaneer, and Blight Nozzle Crawler. That's about it. It feels like Rogue has to be more aggressive, but it looks like it'll be very difficult to have finishers to end the game. If Rogue remains severely micro-adjusted, we don't see a rise in her power level. Moving on to Shaman, there's a lot of premium cards rotating out. Jade cards, 4 mana 7/7, Thing from Below, and Master of Evolution. Hammer of Twilight was also a strong weapon, although it didn't see much play. A lot of strong cards are also coming back, but the class feels different. Maelstrom Portal and Power Mace will be extremely strong in creating swings. Shaman gets another board clear with Elemental Destruction. The common slot is a bit weak. Totem Golem is great, but that's about it. Whirling Zap-O-Matic is a glorified Bloodfen Raptor, and Crackle is inconsistent. Menacing Nimbus will also be inconsistent. Walking Fountain will still be in the pool, but Rise of Shadows has a bunch of bad elementals. The card was much better when Ungoro was part of the meta. The last Shaman cards we'll mention are Thunderbluff Valiant and Draenei Totem Carver. Killing totems will be important to play around these cards. For 2 months, we suffered the reign of Gul'dan with Abyssal Enforcer, Black Crystal Potion, and Felfire Potion in the pool. Darkshire Councilman and Voidcaller also allowed Warlock to cheese out wins it had no business winning. With the rotation, the class is becoming a lot fairer. Implosion, Spirit Bomb, and Dark Bomb will make a return. They're good cards, but nowhere near as oppressive. Omega Agent will also be back. With epic cards appearing much less than before, this card won't be as problematic as before. And that's about it. The class will receive substantially less board clears, which means playing control should be much less consistent. As usual, Warlock is all about the neutral cards more than its class cards. If the curve remains good, Zoo will always be a good archetype in Arena with the lackeys from Rise of Shadows. And then there's Warriors. The class is already at a poor spot, and it will be losing Death's Bite, Ravaging Ghoul, Warpath, and N'Zoth's First Mate. The only premium cards Warrior received is Super Collider, Fool's Bane, Omega Assembly, and Dynomatic. Guess what? Only Fool's Bane is a common card to be seen often enough. The class will have an identity crisis. It will still not be good enough to play control, and it loses 3 premium tempo tools. We do not have much faith that Warrior will move out of the bottom tier. Some key takeaway points emerge after looking at all of the class cards. There will be fewer board clears. Shaman gains Elemental Destruction and Maelstrom Portal, Paladin gets Enter the Colosseum, but Mage, Warrior, and Warlock lose board clears. Druid looks like the biggest winner from this rotation. With less board clears and an even better early game, the token archetype will flourish. Currently, the class is already in a good spot, but Warlock, for example, can still outclear your minions. Early game Snowball will be more common with the rotation. Priest will have extra arms and Velen's Chosen, Paladin has Seal of Champions, and neutral synergistic cards like Mech Warper and Zubat will create an insane amount of early game tempo very early on. Darnassus Aspirant is another Snowball card that will ramp Druid if left unchecked. Class strength will largely depend on which class can dominate the early game board. Right now, it feels like Druid, Paladin, Mage, and Priest will be the new winners from the rotation. And this wraps up our analysis on the class cards coming in. We'll cover neutral cards next and point out big picture themes coming into the new rotation. What class are you interested in trying out? What crazy synergies have you noticed? Comment below, and as always, like and subscribe for more quality Hearthstone content. See you next time.